Yes, guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another episode of Carefree Reacts. It is literally like 4:30 a.m. in the morning, but we're still grinding because the Back Again pod went for like 3.5 hours. Salah versus everybody, basically. Guys, go and check that out if you haven't done so already. But I would assume that you guys have already done that anyway. But we're not here for that. We're here for another episode of Carefree Reacts. Shout out to every single one of you that's locked in. I've let this one simmer for a while because I've wanted to hear everybody's takes because I already know people are doing the reactionary BS. And I've already seen it on Twitter. We're going to bring up some tweets as well, and we're going to go through all of the waffle that we've seen in the last 24, 48 hours since the loss to Fulham, which is still annoying. Still annoying. And in the long term, I'm not worried about where Chelsea are at or where they're going. But seriously, losing to Fulham at home, our first loss at Fulham in 45 years, it's annoying. It is very annoying. But that has bred a lot of BS about Chelsea, as per usual, because all the haters have been waiting for Chelsea to drop points. So without further ado, let's get into the content and let's get into the reactions. Hit the like, subscribe, and shout out to Never a Foul because they're first up.
Continue, Carter, to try and buy yourself basically
Well
success. And therefore, where it comes down to then is the manager. And I've been telling you, this Enzo Maresca guy is a fraud. He's a fraud. He's a fraud.
A fraud. A draw to Everton and a loss to Fulham, and Maresca is now a fraud. Still second in the league. No, third now. Ipswich and all that. But third in the league table as a man who was deemed just an inexperienced championship manager at the start of the season, and 2 games is what was taken for him to now be seen as a fraud. Crazy that. Crazy.
You're going to say that.
Hold on. No. Because I said it. I said it. No. I haven't based him just on Chelsea. If you
shout out Joey as well. He's not even letting him finish his waffle. I rate that.
If you watched, I'm telling you,
if you let him run, we might hear why he's a fraud. I'm interested to hear why he's a fraud.
Yeah, because if you watched him at Leicester City last season, right? Okay.
Of course I didn't.
Is that so? Well, I don't know if you're being sarcastic, but Leicester City, we all know that they had won the league by Christmas, right? And they were clear. And this guy with the expectation, someone mentioned on the stream, I can't remember, talked about expectation of being a Chelsea manager, right? Well, the expectation of Leicester City was to walk that league, and he had it. He nearly threw that league. And when there was expectation...
So it's the team that was top at Christmas, but it was him that nearly threw away the league title. Sounds a little bit like an agenda, personally. And, like, obviously, I'm not going to pretend I followed Leicester City week in and week out, but I did have a look at what their fans were saying about Maresca's time there, especially when all the discourse about him joining Chelsea was going around. And from what I was seeing, they did complain about him being a little bit stubborn, but they also said that they had dreadful finishing in games that they dominated, and they were made to pay for not bearing those chances. And also, by the way, they still finished top. They still ended up winning the championship. So this whole notion that, they nearly threw it away, they didn't. They didn't. So what are we doing from here?
For Leicester to go home or away, midweek, whatever, he was expected to win every game, no matter what. This guy starts sweating. He starts overthinking. When he's only using one sub in a game, that is a sign of a manager who's all starting to question who can he trust, who can he not. And that...
How does that make him a fraud, though? If he doesn't trust in a few of his bench options, which is still a question, like, we can't say that that's a complete fact or not. But even if that was the case, how does that make him a fraud? How is he overthinking by keeping players on? If anything, isn't that the complete reverse? Would you like him to, like, think of more options? I don't understand this at all. If this is what makes him a fraud, we already know where we stand.
It's for me why earmark Maresca.
And also, by the way, like, Maresca's most impressive performance for Chelsea this season, I think, was literally dunking on Villa. And my guy here, shout out to him, is still a Villa fan as well. So please, shame and decorum. What is this?
Now, Dilly and Dally. over your next couple of fixtures, okay, in the Premier League. And when you see a manager who's one sub, it's a really bad sign. It's a really bad sign, in my opinion. So I know you're maybe fraud's a really strong word on Maresca.
Okay.
But this sign.
There we go. Backtracking. Didn't take long.
This man is sweating a little bit. This
Okay,
man is sweating.
But here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. He's only done.
This sweating thing is stupid. It's been 2 games. You seem pretty calm in the press conference as well.
One sub in one game. The problem is for us, the subs have been late. Is my issue. That's been the issue for most of these.
He's sweating.
Late.
He's sweating.
Hey, that could be fine. But at least we're not losing 3-0 and 4-0 to other teams. All right. Like
that is facts. Because if I want to talk about sweating, how about we talk about Aston Villa? Aston Villa have 3 wins in 14. 3 wins in 14 games. When I want to talk about sweating.
That's
we're
fine,
7 points behind you. We've been shite.
We're
like 7 points behind you.
Take a step back, bro. You're supposed to have the second best manager in this league. Take a step back about talking about other managers. All right, just take a step.
At least my manager uses 5 subs a game. He knows how to use a bench.
Hey, my manager's gone from 3rd place in the league this time last season to being 7 points behind Chelsea. But hey, at least he uses all 5 of his substitutions. Oh, but you see, this is what happens when you lose games, right? You lose games, you have to deal with terrible, terrible narratives from rivals. And just as I say that, I want to reel in the next video because, boy, Ahmed had to deal with a lot of BS today. I can't be bothered for this one. Listen to this from Hamza, guys.
Tell you, Gabriel Jesus, I hate Gabriel Jesus. Gabriel Jesus is a better finisher than Jackson. Jackson cost him the
oh my days.
Everything. Yeah, bro,
I mean, statistically, that's not true.
Gabriel Jesus, brother.
Bro,
oh, my life.
Islam, when you put Jackson up front, you know when strikers they're through on goal, they smile before they score. Even before they hit that ball, he knows the net is white. Yo, I'm scoring. Mo Salah. Look at Mo Salah. Mo Salah in front.
Jackson's also got way more clinical this season, by the way. We have to keep giving him credit for that because last season he wasn't the same player. But it seems people are still thinking of Jackson from last season.
No goal. Bro, he was
deadly.
What the goal is. Deadly. Yeah? Bro, I've seen Fernando Torres, Luis Suarez in front of goal. Mwah. Thierry Henry, Romain Van Persie, Sergio Aguero, they love goals. But
also, by the way, who's even putting Nicholas Jackson amongst these sorts of names of players like Aguero, Van Persie, Suarez? Like, no, nowhere near yet.
What this guy, bro, he fights with the ball. Darwin Younes is a better striker than him. Darwin Younes, that's for you.
No. Don't do overdo it.
I'm telling you.
Not Younes.
Even Hassam weren't running that agenda. Man said Darwin Núñez is a better finisher. Disgrace. Absolute disgrace. I'm not even going through the rest of that one because I can't be bothered with it. But this is the BS that we have to put up with when Chelsea drop points. Everybody just gets thrown under the bus. And the cooking is so stale. The cooking is undercooked. It's undercooked chicken. It is giving me salmonella and I'm furiously vomiting all over the place. Like, how many times do I have to tell people, when you cook, it's not hard to cook with a recipe. It's not hard to cook with class, with style, with facts. Man, have to do dumb agendas. Darwin Núñez is a better goal scorer than Jackson. Maresca is a fraud after 2 games. Speaking of fraud, you know who we're wheeling up next because I want to bring up some of the BS Hassam was saying earlier. So let's run up this one.
And I'm not allowing scapegoating. Because Chelsea fans are very good at, as soon as Liverpool drop points or as soon as Arsenal drop points, talk about Salah, talk about Saka, talk about blah, blah, blah. I go into a Chelsea stream and all these Chelsea fans are shouting about Sanchez and Gusto and blah, blah, blah. Your easy targets. You told
easy targets, by the way. I wanted to pause it here because this is another one of Hassam's amazing gaslighting tactics. The easy targets. I remember last season it was Conor Gallagher. Oh, it's easy to talk about Conor Gallagher. Let's talk about Caicedo and Enzo instead. This is what they do. They call out the continuously poor players because we're the ones that aren't really propping them. We're not the ones that are comparing them to rival players like Gusto because he's not good enough. We're not going to put him in conversations with Trent this season. Sanchez, for example, he ain't getting in an argument with anyone. He's a scrub. So it's not really fun for rivals to go back at them. They'd rather go after the names of the players that we actually rate, the players that we would actually compare. It's another smart gaslighting tactic. I've said it to Hassan, my guy, every time. Everybody sub to Hassan. But insane gaslighter. And while I say that, I need to hit the like button.
All this against Everton that you needed Cucurella. Guess what? Cucurella was there.
And Cucurella was not bad. He was not bad at all. It's actually a pretty decent attacking threat for us. Just obviously didn't score, but he got in the right positions and was good in build-up. So... And also, Fulham were majority attacking off Gusto's side, not Cucurella's side as well. But
ice cold Palmer. I put on the hoodie because I'm so cold. I am so cold from his performance today. What is the difference, genuinely, between today's performance and a typical Bruno Fernandes performance? Gets GA, dog shit.
He wasn't even bad, though. Like, this is the craziest part. He didn't even have a bad game. Like, Everton was poor. I'm not defending the Everton performance. He played terribly in that one. But Palmer was actually very creative for long periods of the game. Literally scored a sensational individual goal. I don't get it. He did not have a bad game. I don't know what we're waffling about here, but I think Hassam's been trying to push this Palmer thing for the last few weeks, because against Brentford, he tried to pretend he was poor as well because he didn't get GNA. And he wasn't poor in that game either. But here we are.
Shit overall. Tell me, what is the difference? Because it's easy for you to come up here and tell us Cole Palmer is the best player in the league. Cole Palmer is better than Saka. Cole Palmer is better than Foden.
He's better than both of them. He's better than both of them. And again, this coming from a Salah fan who is notorious for hiding bad performances or ghost sessions with GNA in the second half is hilariously out of touch. Palmer wasn't even that bad for us to be focusing on him like this. It's ridiculous. It's just because he's the big name. It's just because he's a guy that we like to compare. Because like I said, let's not go for the easy targets. Gaslighting. Simple gaslighting.
Ice cold. Cole Palmer should win Ballon d'Or. Cole Palmer is amazing. Cole Palmer is legendary. He's fantastic. He's elite. He's this, he's that. You put him on such a higher pedestal, but when it comes to us holding him to that standard, you start getting upset and you start crying.
This isn't holding him to that standard. It's you being disingenuous about his performance. You tried to do the same BS against Brentford, and you're trying to do it now, and you think it's easier because we lost. Palmer was not bad. We've said he was poor against Everton. We said he was poor against Liverpool. When he has a bad performance, call him out for having a bad performance, but I don't understand this narrative. And this is from someone who watched the game as well, which is the craziest thing. Craziest thing.
Crying. Today, Cole Palmer scored a good goal. Yes, okay, Cole Palmer scored a good goal. The rest of the game, how many times did he give the ball away? How many times was he in a dangerous position, didn't make the right pass? How many times was he in a dangerous position, couldn't make the correct cross? How many times was he in a dangerous position and didn't link up with his teammates properly? How many times? It's easy.
I feel like this is all based from like the last 15 minutes when him and the entire attack got a bit leggy, but this was not throughout the 90 minutes. He was good for about a good 60, 70 minutes of that game. So I don't get that. If not even a bit more, to be honest. Like, he had an amazing cross to Nkunku by the end of the game as well that he hit at the keeper. So this notion that he wasn't effective is poor. It's poor.
Easy. It's very easy for you to come up here every game. Oh, this is Tosin's fault. This is Gusto's fault. This is Sanchez's fault.
See, we bring up the names of the players that are the most criticized as the easy targets. There is a reason why these players are the easy targets, and Tosin shouldn't even be on this list in the first place in terms of easy targets. But the likes of Gusto and Sanchez, they're being criticized because they've been crap for weeks. What do you expect? You play crap, you're going to get criticized. It's not scapegoating, it's calling the games. It's the same thing with Andy Robertson. We could say that you're scapegoating him for this season, but no, it's because Andy Robertson is a liability. Same thing with the way Sanchez has been this season, and the same way it's been with Gusto this season. So this entire narrative is, again, just hilariously disingenuous. But again, here we are. I don't expect anything from a guy who said this about Palmer well, for the last game.
I'm not taking Palmer at Liverpool. Szoboszlai is better than Palmer. Szoboszlai carried Hungary to a Euros. Jimenez.
Palmer won Player of the Year with playing limited minutes as a substitute. But yeah, Szoboszlai is better than Palmer. Yeah. Crazy. But again, this is the BS that we got to hear about when Chelsea don't win a game. So ultimately, we got to do our thing. But the thing is, I want to talk about some Chelsea fans as well, because the flip-flopping that I have seen over the last couple of games has been ridiculous. Obviously, like Mineral Man had to come out of his shell. Toxic positivity merchants come outside with third. With third. What are you moaning about? What are you moaning about? Oh, you finally had something that you can moan about with Clear Lake for the first time in months. I don't understand. Toxic positive merchants come outside. We are literally overachieving on what was expected for the squad. Stuff like this as well. Criticizing Maresca's in-game management like it's been a problem throughout the season. Now, you can criticize it for this game. Like, I did the exact same thing. But if we're acting like it's a common theme with Maresca, it's hilariously reactionary. Because we've been praising him for his game management, for his tweaks in game, for the improvements that we've seen in Chelsea in the second half in matches. We can criticize the subs, like that's been a constant late situation with Chelsea throughout the season, but saying his game management has been something that's a constant problem, or comparing him to Benitez, who was criticized for that when he was at Chelsea, again, reactionary. It's ridiculously reactionary. I also wanted to just bring up this idiot because Dean's come out waffling about Pochettino again. Oh, his last 18 games are equal to Maresca's first 18 games. Should we have a talk about about Pochettino's first 18 games, or do you not want to change the goalposts again? Because that's all that this is. Comparing the last 18 games to the first 18 games. Why don't you compare how both teams started? How about we compare that? Oh, wait, that doesn't look good on Pochettino, does it? That doesn't look good on him, because if I bring this up, where were we this time last season? Oh, 11th. 11th. Well, we don't want to compare the start of the run, though. Let's compare the end, because he finally figured out how to invert a left back in May. Great. Absolutely great. Just to wrap up as well. Where is it? I had to bring this up. I brought it up on my stream yesterday, but I wanted to bring it up again for anyone who didn't see it. They are now trying to cook us for being correct about not thinking we're in a title race. Chelsea were doing well till they started doing this cringe "we're not in a title race" gimmick. Like, we weren't doing a gimmick. We were looking at our team logically. Something Arsenal fans struggle with, I understand, but we don't jump the gun like your football club. It's as simple as that. Other ones just saying, yeah, we're not in a title race, we're absolute garbage. Again, a bit overstated as a Liverpool fan, which I understand, but we were correct. What do people want? What do they want us to just be deluded? Oh, yeah, they do, because like it gives them material to use against us, and they don't like that we're not doing it. We still got the little chill guy gimmick and all of that. But here we are. This is the stupidness that we have to deal with whenever we drop points. So please, Chelsea, save us the embarrassment of leaving Ipswich with anything less than 3 points. I beg. I beg, because I can't be bothered with it. I expect us to win anyway, though, so I'm not even that worried. Show that it was just a blip, because we have a good run of games coming up, and we can still capitalize on that and still consolidate our top 4 spot. So yeah, big up to every single one of you that's locked in, though. Hit the like button, subscribe, all of that crap. Bon Pochettino, didn't get a chance to say that today. And yeah, up the Chelsea. Let us know your thoughts down in the comment section. Sub to everybody whose videos we bring up. The link should be down in the description as well. And up the Chelsea.